Hello, 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 and welcome back to another edition of Fan Talk, your favorite podcast by your favorite fan. Kyle Brenchley in the house on this Tuesday. The pod is going up on a Tuesday. Welcome to Fan Talk. We got the sign, we got the posters, we got the candle burning. Welcome into Fan Talk. Fan Talk's a podcast by the fans, for the fans. And this episode is going to be out of this world. It's going to be fantastic. Thank you so much for tuning in. Fan Talk is a podcast that you can find anywhere you get your podcast. I upload on YouTube, Spotify if you like the video version. Please comment, subscribe, like this video if you're watching on YouTube, and let's jump right in. We're talking World Cup. It is the Fan Talk World Cup preview. We've waited 4 long years for the World Cup to return. Last time in 2022, it was in Qatar. And if you remember, it was not played in the summer because in Qatar, in the summer, it can get up to 120 degrees, and that is not conducive for playing soccer. So they played it in the winter, in November and December. The World Cup final was actually, I believe, 7 days before Christmas. So it was kind of a very fun time of year. You had football going on, you had basketball going on, you had World Cup soccer going on. I was in college at the time. I was not studying for my finals because I was watching so much World Cup action. But it is back in the summer, back in the United States for the first time since 1994. I got my World Cup 1994 hat. I saw at Dick's Sporting Goods, they have a bunch of 1994 throwback gear. I might get some before I go to some World Cup matches. I just have my USA jersey on from the 2014 World Cup. I'm super excited for the World Cup. We've waited, and it is now here. In exactly 48 hours, Mexico will kick off against South Africa, and the 2026 North American World Cup will be underway. And it's going to be fantastic. Expanded field this time, 48 teams. This is the biggest World Cup field that they've had ever. 104 matches in 16 host cities across Canada, the United States, and Mexico. It's going to be fantastic. Of course, last year, or I guess 4 years ago, Argentina, led by Lionel Messi, beat France to win the 2022 World Cup. Messi is back with Argentina. France is back strong as ever. 41-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo is back. 41 years old for Portugal. Spain's looking good. The United States are hungry. It's going to be a fantastic tournament. I just mentioned the previous winner. Talking about the last time the World Cup was here in the United States was the year 1994. If you were alive in the year 1994, you have to comment a soccer ball down below and like this video. I doubt that any of you were, but if you are listening and you were born in 1994 or before, comment that soccer ball emoji down below and like this video. Brazil was actually the team, the nation, that won in 1994. So can they repeat 32 years later? A lot of people say probably not, but don't count them out. It's going to be a fantastic tournament. I want to go through and show you all the teams that have made the World Cup. We'll kind of look at which teams to watch for. I'll tell you which teams you should be rooting for. And then at the end, I will make my pick for who's going to win it all and host the trophy at the end of the tournament. Like I said before, 48 teams, the largest field in World Cup history. They're broken up in groups of 4, round robin style, which is you play the other 3 teams in your group. And if you win, you get 3 points. If you tie, you get 1 point. And if you lose, you get 0 points. And based on how many points you gather after the end of the 3 matches determines if you get to move on to the next round. So Mexico here in Group A, I think they look fantastic in Group A. Again, kicking off against South Africa for the first game. I think South Korea is a very good team. South Korea and Mexico, I think they run through Group A. Group B is probably the weakest group in the entire field. Canada, of course, getting Group B. Bosnia and Herzegovina, they're there in the World Cup because they beat Italy. They upset Italy back in March in World Cup qualifiers. So they're just happy to be here. Qatar's happy to be here. Switzerland, I think, is by far the best team in this group. Probably, like I said, the least competitive group in the entire World Cup field. Group C, you have Brazil and Morocco, and then you have Haiti and Scotland. This is like the hugest talent gap. I think the group with the hugest talent gap because you have Brazil, superpower. They've won the most World Cups in history with 5. You have Morocco, which is a team that is very hot right now. They are very good in the 2022 World Cup. They took 3rd, a team that's up and coming. very good this year as well. And then you have Haiti. And Haiti is like, we're here. We're at the World Cup. Like, this is fantastic. This is awesome. Like, sign us up. And then you have Scotland. And Scotland, they'll play hard and they'll do their best, but they're just not up to par with their big brother England, right? So very, very interesting group there. Group D. This is United States group. Somewhat, I don't know. I think the jury's still out on if this is a favorable group. Paraguay could be dangerous. They're a South American team. They're not the best South American team. They're not, I don't even know if they're middle of the pack South American team. They're somewhere in there. Australia, again, not necessarily a very good nation at soccer, but don't sleep on them. Like, they could surprise you. And they did surprise us in 2022 by advancing to the group stage. So don't sleep on Australia. And then Turkey, they're a good team. I think Turkey probably wins this group, honestly. And if USA can fight off Australia and Paraguay and go through the next round as well. Group E, Germany on top of there, Ivory Coast, Ecuador. I think all three of those teams are fantastic. Germany, obviously, had a very tough 2022. They did not even make it out of the group stage in the last World Cup. They're looking to make a statement here in Group E. And then Curacao, good for Curacao. The first time Curacao has made the World Cup in their nation's history. I've been to Curacao, so that's kind of cool. Go Curacao. Group F, this is another tough group. Sweden, Japan, Netherlands, and Tunisia. That's where they filmed some of the scenes in Star Wars on Tatooine, was in Tunisia. Fun fact there. Tunisia returning to the World Cup. They were there in 2022 as well. Should be a fun group to watch. The Netherlands are always a fun team. Japan has gotten a lot better over the years. Sweden is good. I'm actually going to go watch Japan versus Sweden, so that should be a fun matchup. Group G, Belgium, Egypt, Iran, New Zealand. This might be the second weakest group. Honestly, Belgium will go through this group quite easily. They won't have any problems, but don't sleep on Iran. New Zealand could maybe upset some teams, but I think this is Belgium all the way. Group H, this is Spain and Uruguay's group to lose. Shout out to Cape Verde making their first ever World Cup. If you don't know where Cape Verde is, it's off the coast of Western Africa, and it's a Portuguese-speaking nation. It's actually called Cabo Verde, is the official Portuguese name for it, but Cape Verde here for English speakers. Congrats to them. I'll be rooting for them to pull off some upsets. And then Saudi Arabia, of course, happy to just be here. Group I think this might be the group of death. And what I mean by that is you have France, who won it in 2018, were runners-up in 2022, who are currently ranked number 2 in the world. A very good team. A lot of people are picking France to win it this year. You have Senegal, which is a very good and upcoming team from Africa. The United States beat them in an international friendly, but Senegal's ranked way above the United States in the world rankings. And then you have Norway, a Norway team that, of course, has Erling Haaland. If you don't know who Erling Haaland is, he plays for Manchester City in the English Premier League and scores like 3 goals every single game. He's like 6'4", and he's this Norwegian man who's just unstoppable. And this Norway team's, looking very good, ranked in the top 10 in FIFA rankings. So there you go. That's the group of death, in my opinion. Group I, only 2 of those teams can make it out of there. Will it be France? Will it be Senegal? Will it be Norway? Will it be Iraq? I guess I shouldn't sleep on Iraq. Watch out for Iraq. They could be the dark horse in that group. Anything can happen here in the World Cup. Group J, Argentina, of course, Lionel Messi, the defending champions. They have Argentina, Austria, and Jordan. We're going to see Argentina and Jordan as well. That's the second match that I'm going to be watching. This one should be very interesting because I think Argentina obviously wins this group, but who gets the second spot? Probably Algeria or Austria if I were to place money on it. Group K, again, this is Portugal and Colombia's group to lose. Shout out to the Democratic Republic of the Congo for making their first World Cup. And Uzbekistan also making their first World Cup. Uzbekistan is in Central Asia, over by Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, kind of over there above Pakistan and Afghanistan. Probably a part of the world that none of us will ever go to, but congrats to them for making their first ever World Cup. And then rounding out the groups is Group L, England, Croatia, Ghana, Panama. This could be another fun group. I think a lot of people are going to say England and Croatia, but don't sleep on Ghana and don't sleep on Panama. So those are the groups. Those are the 48 teams that are in the World Cup. And you're probably wondering, Who do I root for in the World Cup? It's kind of like the Olympics. Yeah, of course, you have to root for the United States. If you're from the United States, if you live in the United States, if you were born in the United States, if you are a United States citizen, of course, you have to root for the United States. But the United States, as talented as they are, have not historically done very well at the World Cup. They've never won a World Cup. They've never made it to a World Cup final. And so there's a good chance the United States, if they do make it out of the group stage, probably won't go very far. Now, I don't want to be pessimistic here. I just want to be realistic. At a certain point in the tournament, there's a good chance the United States will no longer be standing. So at that point, who do you root for then? Well, here's the correct answers. Literally root for whoever you want. But let me give you some teams that probably don't have a lot of people rooting for them that could make some noise in this World Cup. First, South Korea. South Korea pulled off some incredible upsets in the last World Cup. They're a team that's like good, but not dangerous. And they could very easily get out of this Group A. I think they will. So South Korea, Canada, our brothers to the north. I mean, we just destroyed them in the Olympics in world hockey. So the least we can do is cheer for them in the World Cup. They're not that good at soccer, but since they're hosting some games, they could go through. I'd root for Haiti. Go Haiti. Like I said, Haiti in the World Cup, a team that has not really been there before, a team that probably doesn't have that great of a chance. Why not root for Haiti? Group D, you got to root for the United States. Group E, I said like Curacao, you got to root for these underdogs. Group F, I'm rooting for Japan, Sweden, Tunisia, pretty much anyone other than the Netherlands, So any of these smaller teams, I mean, if you go out there and root for France, if you go out there and root for Spain, if you go out there and root for Argentina, if you go out there and root for Brazil, I'm not going to stop you. But if you want to have a little fun, pick one of these countries that you've maybe never heard of, that you can't place on a map, and root for them. Go Algeria, go Senegal, go Uzbekistan, go Panama. You guys should all know where Panama is, but it should be a very fantastic World Cup. Again, root for whoever the heck you want. But United States is, if you're from the United States, you got to root for the United States. So, who is favored to win it all? So how it works is, as I explained earlier, you play the three other teams in your group. If you score enough points by getting wins or draws, you advance to the knockout stage. And once you get to the knockout stage, you play just one game against another team who also advanced to the knockout stage. And eventually, the winner knocks out the loser, and you eventually get down, to the final four, to the final two game, and then you get the winner. So who's projected to win it all? It's kind of an interesting World Cup tournament because while there is technically no favorite to win it all, there's no one team that is clearly above the rest. There's still, three or four teams that probably have a legit shot at winning, whereas a lot of the other teams do not. And those four teams, for me, are as follows: Spain, France, Brazil, Argentina. Those are the four teams that I think have a legit shot. Now, there are some honorable mentions. England, Portugal, Germany. I mean, they're kind of on the fringes. I don't think they will win. I think Spain, because they're currently ranked number one in FIFA. They're the favorites. They have some good players, some good young players, and they're just a really solid team. France, they've been the powerhouse the last few years. They won it in 2018. They were the runner-up in 2022. They're still a very good team. Brazil, because Brazil won it in 1994, the last time it was played in the United States. So based off that, if you're superstitious, can they return? Can they be back? Brazil's just a great soccer nation. They're just passionate, and they're angry. They're angry because they haven't won it in so long. And then Argentina, I just put Argentina on there because Lionel Messi, he did it 4 years ago. Can he do it again? I don't think so, but I think Argentina has a better shot than any of the other teams that did not make that top four list. So when it comes down to it, and it's really hard to say, it's really hard to predict before they start playing. Injuries could happen. It depends on who they play in the group stage and in the knockout stage. But I think one of those four teams, again, Spain, France, Brazil, Argentina. I'm thinking either France or Brazil, honestly. I think Spain, they're the most talented team and they have the high expectations. I just feel like they get knocked off at some point, maybe by a team that has a little more experience than them. Argentina, France, France has just been there before. They're solid. They know what they're doing. Argentina, like I said, I think it's a good thing they won it in 2022. Messi's getting older. He's 39 years old, pushing 40, and he hasn't been playing a ton in the MLS. They load manage him. So I think it's either Brazil or France. I think it's going to be Brazil. I'm going to go with Brazil. Vibes only. Brazil wins it all in 2026. They return to North America and take the World Cup back to South America and win it all. It should be fantastic. I will be following every single moment of the World Cup. I'll be watching every single match. I'll be keeping this podcast up to date moving forward until the World Cup final. This podcast is going to be very heavy in soccer and World Cup action. I will mention NBA Finals next time because the Spurs did force a Game 3. So frankly, I don't have to talk about it before tomorrow night when Game 4 happens. We'll talk NHL. We'll talk other stuff next time. But this is the time for World Cup. And you're like, oh, Kyle, I don't like watching soccer. This is the World Cup. This is the Olympics of soccer. This is arguably, besides the Olympics, the most important sporting event in the entire world. It only happens every 4 years. And you're telling me you're not going to be watching it? Go watch it. Go have some fun. Go cheer on Team USA. Go pick an underdog. Go root for it. Go root for whatever country you want. It should be fantastic. Comment your winners down below. Again, I think Brazil's going to take it all. Tell me that I'm right or wrong in the comment section down below. And it should be fantastic. I'm so excited for the World Cup. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Fan Talk. Again, this is a podcast you can find anywhere you get your podcasts. I upload weekly. I've been doing this show for about four years now because I was talking about the last World Cup in the beginning of my podcast, actually. Episode 3 was about the World Cup and getting ready for it. So full circle, I appreciate all the support. It's so much fun. And if you like what you hear, consider subscribing on YouTube, leave a rating there on Spotify, leave a like and comment your winner down below. And I'll catch you guys next week for another edition of Fan Talk.